Hi, guys. So, sometimes you just got to go naked. So, although I'm not fully naked, thank goodness, I just got out of the shower, and so there's no makeup. There's nothing. There's just me and my white old face. Anyway, you know, there's something to be said for the original package, right? Right. Okay. um, let's talk about siblings because this is really important. And I want to add in why siblings are important, not just how you can keep them from battling each other and fighting all the time, but there is a real benefit to having a sibling. Because often, as parents, as we're breaking up all these arguments, we're like, what the heck did I do? I was doing pretty well with this one child. And if you remember when that second was born and you were schlepping them all over the place, and now you have two to schlep, you're thinking, it was so much easier with one. What made me think I should do it again? But there are really good reasons to have more than one child. I personally am super close to my siblings. And in fact, when when COVID began back in March of 2020, we actually started texting each other every morning to keep in touch because we weren't going to be able to see each other. And we have continued that every day since March of 2020. We say good morning to each other, even if that's all we say. We usually mention the weather. Two of us are here in Baltimore. One of us is in New York. One's in Colorado. So, but we connect. Either way, whatever we mention, we connect. So it's really nice to have siblings. And sometimes, did we fight when we were younger? Of course. Did we have arguments? Of course. But now that we're older, we're all four of us are in our 60s from various stages, youngest to oldest, obviously. We are very close. And we like to keep that closeness. And we are really blessed to have each other. And now that our parents are gone, we are the elders of the family, but we are also very close to each other. And that bond is amazing. So that's one of the reasons that it's great to have a sibling. Okay. Number two, you have a buddy growing up. You don't always have to say, oh, they're all by themselves. Let me see if there's a friend they can play with. They have a built-in friend. It's right there, built-in buddy. So it's nice to have a built-in buddy, right? And you're thinking, oh, but they fight all the time. Doesn't mean they don't love each other. Doesn't mean they don't appreciate having each other. Okay. Let's talk about some other things besides having a buddy to play with. They learn, and this is one of the things that you can do to assist. They learn conflict resolution. So they learn that when they're with their buddy, with their sibling, and they get into a spat, let it be for a while. Let them figure it out so they can figure out how to resolve conflict without beating each other up. Now, if they start beating each other up and there's blood, that's when you're going to need to chime in and separate them and then talk about it. But sometimes they can figure out a problem all by themselves and resolve it and move on. Kids learn compassion through having siblings. They learn how to share, how to understand that other people have feelings too, and the world doesn't just revolve around them. Your younger siblings learn from their older siblings. Sometimes great, sometimes not so great, which is why it's important to put a parenting system into your family. The sooner the better, because if you're kind of running this family dysfunctionally, your younger siblings, your younger children are learning from their older siblings. And if that communication is aggressive or not so great, and there's a lot of tantrums and there's a lot of fighting, your younger siblings are going to learn to do the same. It's nice as you're growing up to not always have to go to your parent. You may, depending on the situation, feel uncomfortable about that. So you may want a peer, and that peer may be your sibling. You may want to ask for advice. It helps with life. It helps with homework. It helps with all kinds of things. When my son came home from 5th grade math, his first homework assignment was, it was pie. Had to deal with pie, pie, not food pie, math pie. And I said to him, you know what? I think that's where I ended in math. I'm pretty sure that was the end of my math training in high school. So future maths, it was very good to have his older sister because she had learned a lot of what I didn't know yet. So that advice is super helpful. Again, someone to look up to. Remember that what you're doing, how you're creating these confident, self-worthwhile children, self-sufficient children, are also teaching younger children. You're role modeling, they're role modeling, okay? And an older sibling often has your back. If there's a problem in school, a problem in the neighborhood, your older sibling is going to love and care for you more than most anybody other than your parents. Now, what can you do to help them get along? You can do a lot of things. And actually, I should check to make sure we are seeing each other, because I don't want to, I've gone on for a while and I don't want to lose that video. So let's make sure you're seeing me. Okay. I'm just going to take a little time out here and make sure. Yes. Okay. I'm out live. All right. So let's talk about what you can do to help them get along. Being proactive instead of reactive. Number one, don't push them together all the time. Give them a break. A lot of times, when you are hanging around with a person all the time, or you're with somebody all the time at work, and maybe you have you have an office and there's someone in your office, they get on your nerves. Well, guess what? Same with your kids. So don't make them be together all the time. Don't push a younger sibling. If your older sibling has a play date, don't be like, you have to take your younger sibling. Why do they have to take them? They're not the same age. They need to also be individuals. They need to have their own friends. Don't push them on top of each other. Don't make the older one a parent. So don't be like, you know what? Can you go get your brother, get him to clean up, and get him over here for dinner? That's your job. Do not give your older child the job of parenting. They're not a parenting. They are an older sibling. Give them the job of being the best person they can be, so they role model the best person they can be, that their younger sibling can be. Maybe if you ask the younger one to help out, encourage your kids to help without being asked. And maybe that older sibling will help your younger sibling clean up or do a job that they're being asked to do. But don't make them do that. Don't make them be the one that oversees and makes sure the job gets done. Don't say to your older sibling, well, you know better. You taught him, you know better. You shouldn't be doing this. They're kids too. They don't always know better. They're children. And if they're young children, they don't know better. So don't be like, oh, you should know better. You're older. Stop, accusing them of not being the mature one. They're not mature. They're kids. They're still kids. Just because they're older kids doesn't mean they're not kids. Give them each their own space and alone time, and make sure they each respect that space. If you've given your older child alone time and the younger sibling keeps coming in and they need to be alone, simply explain, you know what? Your brother or your sister needs some time to themselves. Let's go do something, and you occupy the younger one. Maybe you go play a game with them, because that one-on-one time with each of them is so valuable. Take them on date nights, single date nights. Make sure that older one knows that he is or she is just as special as the younger one. Sometimes hard to remember when a younger sibling, child, baby comes into the world, because people always want to come see that baby. Make sure you're showing the older child that they are just as special to you, even though they now have a sibling. Thank them for helping out. Thank them for helping each other. Thank them when they're playing nice together. Speak compliments and praise to them that go specific to what they're doing right. If all of a sudden they've been playing nicely for a half hour, and I've said this to you guys before, and then they get in a fight and you go and address the fight, and you never address the time they've been playing so nice, they're going to always think they're doing wrong. So instead of addressing the fight, say, you know what, guys, you've been so good together. I really appreciate it. I got some work done. I know you're getting like antsy with each other. Let's all go play a game together. Do something with them. Don't always address the negative. Make sure you're doing a lot of addressing to the positive they're doing, because you know what? They do a lot more positive. Remember that there are no guarantees in life that your siblings are going to love each other. It's not guaranteed. They didn't ask for a sibling. You made a couple babies. Are they going to love each other all the time? Not necessarily. There are a lot of siblings that don't have anything to do with each other. So don't expect that. I want you to make sure you're working hard enough to encourage their friendship by not putting them on top of each other all the time, by not making sure that one is always in charge of the other, by respecting their individualism while still respecting their togetherness. Okay? So if you have questions, guys, please reach out. That's what I'm here for. Oh, and so you know, I'm sorry to say, but I'm going to be changing Thursday's Q&A. And I'm going to move that extra one that I owe you. I'm going to move it to the second Thursday of, what's the next month? July. Okay, so the second Thursday of July, we're going to have that extra Q&A. So we're going to have 2 Q&As in a row in July, and then a third one. So there'll be 3 Q&A times in July. But if you have something you need addressed now that you were going to address that Thursday, reach out to me and I will set up a separate call just for you so that you don't miss the help that you need. Okay? All right. So don't forget that we're not going to have Q&A this Thursday. Okay? We'll have 3 in July because I owe you one. But please reach out to me if you need help. Okay? That's what I'm here for. And we'll just do a separate call together and I'll help you out with what you need. All right? I don't want you to miss the help you need just because I have a family conflict. Okay, guys. So hope this helps. Put in the comments what really helped you to really be proactive with your siblings, not just reactive. And as always, I wish you peace, love, tons of laughter. It really is the best medicine. And I'll see you here next time in our Tranquility Tribe and around the web. Bye-bye, everyone.